Hey everyone, it's me, Doomlink, and welcome back to the Demon Souls livestream series. It is the 50th part, which is a milestone in any series, really. I like the number 50. I like the number 60 even more. But 50's nice. As far as, part numbers are concerned, I like 60 more, because 60 feels like, you've gone beyond 50. Anyway, point being, we are in the 50th part. And for those of you who watched the previous recording, you may be surprised to see that I'm actually sitting here doing a Dexterity build. The reason why I'm doing a Dexterity build is because I really want to do one. I actually thought I had done a Dexterity build. I couldn't remember exactly whether or not I had, but especially given the fact that I was thinking back to previous things I had done in this livestream series, and I remembered that I was grinding Bladestone for something, and I was thinking, well, the only way I'd be grinding for Bladestone is if I was doing a Dexterity build, so I mustn't really be able to remember doing a Dexterity build, but I can remember farming for Bladestone, so I must have been doing one, right? Well, no, actually. I think I was farming for Bladestone for my pure bow build, which makes sense because, of course, the pure bow build is, needless to say, Dexterity based. Now, I think we have 3 other characters in the European version, so let's have a look and see what we've got here. Yeah, we do still have one more profile available here. Miriam was... what was that build? I know that this was my heavy strength build. This was my light strength build. This one, I'm not entirely sure. It wouldn't have been... I've actually forgotten what it was now. Anyway, it doesn't matter. It's in line with the fact that I had completely forgotten that I had done it, or rather hadn't done a Dexterity build, couldn't remember whether or not I had done. But yeah, anyway, we've done a pure bow build. Oh, that's what it was. It was my pure bow build, I think, Miriam. So there we go, that's interesting. We're doing another Dexterity based build, but this one is going to be completely Dexterity based in the sense that we are going to be using all the different Dexterity weapons, whereas a pure bow build, needless to say, is focused on bows entirely. We will be using a bow of some description here, I would imagine, but we're not going to be using it exclusively. Now, the reason why I was getting Bladestone in that pure bow build, I believe, was because I wanted to have a weapon on hand, or rather, in the offhand, I suppose would be a better way to put it, just in case I found myself needing a weapon. Because if I'm going pure bow, there are certain situations, I think, where you do need some sort of slashing weapon of sorts. So I got, or rather attempted to get, a sharp weapon to have, just in case I needed one, and yeah, I don't think I was successful in getting pure Bladestone, and you wouldn't blame me if you know what is needed to get pure Bladestone, but yeah, there's going to be a little bit of pure Bladestone farming in this build, I dare say, and I'm not looking forward to it. But anyway, I haven't actually done any preparation in terms of deciding what I want to do with the build yet. I haven't done a Dexterity build in a little while, but I'm looking forward to doing one again. And I'm just coming in here completely blind, not having a plan in place, just wanting to play. And generally you don't have to immediately start working towards the build in the first recording when you're going through areas like World 1 and 1-2 and 2-1. So I'm just taking it easy, basically. I'm going to bring up my chats, and then we will start going through the character creation. I haven't thought about whether or not I want to make a male or female character, I haven't thought about what name I would use, haven't even thought about what kind of class I want to use. That is the degree to which I'm walking in here, not really knowing what I want to do. All I know is that I ultimately want a Dexterity build, and here's hoping that I have it go a little smoother this time as compared to my magic build that I did first time around in the Japanese version. The magic build didn't turn out terribly, it's just that it wasn't perfect, and I can get around that by going through New Game Plus and fixing whatever went wrong, but yeah, it wasn't a perfectly straightforward, easy process in that magic build. I messed something up. But anyway, we've got our chats up, and I think I'm ready to go. The live stream is looking good. I'm looking a little bit dark, but I like it like this, I think. It's mostly natural light doing the lighting job at the moment. And we're doing quite well as far as the green screen also. Now, the classes that I go with for Dexterity are usually Wanderer, Thief, And what else do I use? We'll have a look and see what might be reasonable. Perhaps it's, no, not hunter. What's the other one? Soldier. How does soldier work? I don't think I mean, soldier's not terrible, but it's got points in faith and luck that I don't want. So I think it's a choice between, indeed, wanderer and thief. Thief is obviously a little bit more... Actually, interestingly, wanderer has more dexterity, which is weird. I'd completely forgotten that. Hello, Altama. There's more luck on the thief build, and luck is a bit of a broken skill in this game, so I think I would prefer to go for the lower soul level, and the one with less luck. Because while luck sounds like a good thing to have at the start, it's really not. I don't know if the luck stat is broken in terms of its scaling with weapons like the Blue Blood Blade, or if it's broken in terms of its efficacy when it comes to dropping things frequently, like how well does it do that? Someone told me that it was broken back in the PvP days, that's all I can say. So I'm not really interested in doing anything to do with luck, or having anything in my luck stat unless I am indeed doing a Blue Blood Blade build, which will happen eventually, just probably a few more builds down the line, you know. I have so much to do in this live stream series, which I love. There is a lot more fun to be had, and I can't wait personally. Hello, Bit Phoenix. Hopefully you can't hear a loud bird outside. I mean, I have to say this. My environment is extremely loud. When I close my windows off to the world, it blocks out an incredible amount of sound. Like, it's very, very isolated in here. But there are certain noises that happen, like jackhammers next door and extremely loud birds that even penetrate that and can even make their way into this microphone. And that really is a testament to how fucking loud my surroundings are. So there you are. Either way, I think we are going to go with Wanderer. That seems like the best choice at the moment. We don't have any unnecessary points really in Magical Faith, because I'm not going to use any of those, or either of those. And we don't have too many points in strength, although we will need a certain amount of strength in order to wield some of the weapons that we use. We will, I think, be getting the Uchigatana fairly early on, because the Uchigatana is just a really nice dexterity scaling weapon that you can get immediately. You can get it as soon as you've cleared World 1-1, because it is located in World 4-1. And that's usually what I do with a dexterity build. I go and grab that thing, and then base my build around that initially. But I can't remember what its strength requirement is. I think it's 12. I believe it's a strength requirement of 12 and a dexterity requirement of 16. Something like that. Which means that that's very easy for us to manage with these starting stats. We're going to go with Wanderer. Now I need to decide on a gender. I think I want to go with female so that I can use the Selen Vinland set, I think. That is to say, the dull gold set. We were already using the binded set for light strength, I think, so we'll go... Yes, we will go with female, I think. That would be a good idea. Feel like we haven't made a female in a little while, although I could be wrong. Name. Most of my names are very random, not very well thought out, because I don't really care about the names so much. I have them there to differentiate between the builds, you know. But what would I like to make? What's a name? Here we go. I'll just do one of my favorite female names, Teresa. And then that will be our, I mean, yeah, that's fine. That will do. Just so that we can differentiate, you know. It obviously doesn't help further down the line, because I completely forget what the builds are, but it does help in the short term. It's very interesting. The Wanderer armor set is a lot nicer looking for females as compared to the males. In fact, it may be a different armor set entirely for the Wanderer starting class. It's probably not called the Wanderer set. The Wanderer class is probably just given different armor depending on whether it's male or female. I can't really say for sure. But yeah, I think this will be what we start with. I forgot to change my fucking character image. Okay, you guys are going to have to forgive me. I will have to... You know, it's times like these when I wish that there was a reset button on modern consoles, I really do. I really want to change from the default... Shit. No, I wouldn't like to play Journey to the Nexus. I don't want to use the default frickin' appearance for the character. I'm not saying it has to look good, it's very difficult to have a nice looking character in Demon's Souls, but I don't want the original, or that is to say the default appearance. That's really stupid. Why can't I just have a reset button on my console? Why is it that hard? I hate this. Anyway. Well, what's the best way to reset the game? What should I do? I'm not particularly looking for forgiveness, Danielle, but thank you. Should I quit and reload? Yeah, let's just quit and reload. That's fine, because at the end of the day, I mean, yes, you guys will lose your view for a little bit because the resolutions will change and all that. Like, for example, it goes to no signal here. We'll be back in just a moment. I understand that it's live and it's kind of annoying when this happens, but that's alright. Let's get moving. You guys got to see Ad Hoc Party and COD Elite downloaded there. That's from a different era of me using PlayStation 3, I'll tell you what. I downloaded COD Elite for when Modern Warfare 3 came out, I believe, yeah. And I never used it at all. I downloaded it to see what the hell it was, and then I saw, oh, it's kind of useless, and then I never launched it again, I don't think. This would have been, what, 2012? Something like that? Anyway. Yes, you can see Bandai Namco for the startup. How do I even say it? Like the people who are involved with the manufacturing, the production and distribution of the game. There we go. Manufacturing is a weird word to use in the context of gaming. Yes, From Software. Unfortunately, this cannot be skipped. Yes, Havoc Engine, thank you. I do apologize for the slow start here, but yeah, that's not really something I can control. We are going to load game so that we can delete the character that we just made. We will be done with this very quickly. You can... God, our character looks freaking creepy. Look at that. That is frightening stuff. I mean, I'm not saying she looks particularly good, but bloody hell. That is just disturbing, that default appearance. Yes, deleting profile. Hurry up, please. There's almost nothing to delete. Updating save data. Yeah, thank you very much. Okay, go to new game, and we'll do this nice and quickly, guys. I know what we need to do now, so we'll make it nice and easy. Yes, change it, please. We will go to Wanderer. We will set the name. Remember when mobile phones used to have this arrangement for texting? Oh, no, that's not how we want to do that. Too busy talking. I used to hate this with mobile phones. I've gotten used to it since, but yeah, I frickin' hated how you'd have to press the same key multiple times to get the right frickin' letter. It was annoying. Okay. And now for the appearance. We will do random until we get something that I think we like. You know, that second one wasn't too bad. That's a bit dumb, that's a bit dumb. That's creepy. That's disturbing. That's vaguely passable. I think we can... I just don't want the pink skin. The pink skin... No, we... Okay, now that's a straight up man. Look at that. Oh my fucking god. I mean, yes, the slider is male and female, but come on, if I'm using a female character, and can someone tell me? I mean, I've gone over this before, but, why is it that according to the Demon's Souls character creation screen, the more female you are, the more blue and alien looking you become? That's fucking scary to me. Anyway, and then do we want... Yeah, we'll go young, and then... Yeah, this is good, this is good. I mean, she doesn't look amazing, I will admit this forever and ever. But, yeah. Okay, we want black hair. I mean, I don't like that black, but whatever. But yeah, shoulder length hair, black. It's looking good. It's looking good. And what are we doing in terms of... No, if we change the origin, that will change everything. Let's not touch that. Details we will not update because fuck that. I'm happy with this. Let's get moving. It's time to begin this character. It is definitely time to begin. I haven't even poured myself a beverage. I will do that now. I will be having some more coffee and vodka. I'll play this while I'm doing it, why not? You may as well have something to look at while I'm doing this, otherwise you'd just be staring at the Nexus, probably. Turn the frickin' thing around. Bloody hell.
And those who dared penetrate the deep fog never returned. But Valorfax of the royal twin fangs
Not wine, unfortunately, Altamar, but
and told the world of Bolitaria's
yeah.
plight.
Need to wipe that. Don't have anything to wipe it with. Oh well. Just close the lid over it. Okay, no, that's gonna go everywhere.
From its eternal slumber, and that a
I don't have any tissues nearby. Son of a slut.
terrible demons. The demons hunt down men and
Okay.
their souls,
I have an alternative.
who lose their souls
I was using these Q-tips to clean my SNES
and chaos reigns.
A Link to the Past cartridge, so I'll use it to do this. That's great, that works.
Demon claims a human
Okay,
soul.
awesome.
The demon's own soul is invigorated by the life force,
That's hilarious.
and the
Okay,
power of a mature
great.
demon's soul
Mop it up with a fucking Q-tip. Beautiful. That did not go in the bin as I wanted it to.
mighty warriors
Okay.
went to the accursed land, but none have
Shit.
returned.
Dropped my Q-tips. This is not an advertisement for Swispers, incidentally.
Sage
Oh my god. But yeah, I was when I got my A Link to the Past cartridge in the mail, I loaded it into my SNES and I was like, oh, it's not launching. Well, I'm no stranger to that, but I was very afraid because I couldn't confirm whether it was the cartridge or the console that was not working. So I was kind of shitting bricks, so I went and got some rubbing alcohol and some Q-tips and I went and cleaned the cartridge and it started just fine. I thought that there was like a 95% chance that was going to be the problem, and it was, thankfully. So cheers, by the way. I do love the occasional coffee and vodka. I just wish it wasn't packed full of fucking sugar. It's not necessary, you know, it's really not. I mean, it's not even that sweet, this is what confuses me. Okay. You have died. It's a nice way to start the game, isn't it? Very Souls-like, though. Alright, we actually have a fucking character here. It's about bloody time. How long did it take us? Almost 20 minutes. Just as well that this is a long frickin' recording, isn't it? Okay, so we are probably just going to straight up go into World 1-1. Let's get moving. My day has... God. Yes, my day has been very good, Brian. And I am doing well. Yes, thank you. My chroma key settings are set to a much lower brightness level of my room, so hopefully it doesn't cut into anything. It doesn't seem to be, so I guess it's perfectly fine. And as a result of it being set to a different sort of brightness level, it's very, very clean. Like, you're not going to see any fucking green around me. Like, I'm not going to have a green aura. It's going to be quiet. At least I don't think so. I could be fucking wrong. Maybe you guys are staring at a green outline and you're like, Doomlink, I can see a green outline while you're saying that we won't be seeing one. But anyway, I'll stop it. I'm probably just going to go two-handed here because it's going to be quicker. I don't need to shield these guys. It's faster to just hit them. Okay, come on. It's faster to just hit them and keep on moving. It's refreshing to be back in New Game again. I have, of course, recently been going through New Game Plus and New Game Plus 2 in the Northern Regalia build. It was not originally my intention, obviously, to go into New Game Plus 2 quite so soon with that build, but it had to happen in order for me to complete the build. So, yeah, I'm pleased to say that we are finally done with that build and we can now move on to things that are slightly more interesting. I would say that the Northern Regalia build was interesting it was just a whole lot less interesting when I had to do not just one run through the game, but 2 runs through the game without the actual weapon that was mentioned in the title of the frickin' build. So, yeah. I think it worked out, but it's definitely time to move on to something new, which is what we're doing now, and I hope you guys are excited for that, because I am. Some may ask when I will get sick of playing through this game. I suspect my answer is never, because all you need is a little bit of a break, and then once you come back in with a fresh perspective, you can enjoy the game once again. I've played this game so many frickin' times. I may very well have with this live stream series and with what I've done on... Oh, fucking stop it. I would guess that with what I've done on my Doom Link channel, in terms of my Let's Plays of this game and in terms of this particular live stream series that I'm doing right now, I have, at this time, played this game more than I've played the first Dark Souls, which is great. I've put less time into it because I haven't been PvPing here like I was doing in Dark Souls, but as far as playing the game repeatedly, I think I've done it more in Demon Souls now, which is a good thing. I had to do it a lot in Demon Souls and Dark Souls as far as playing the game repeatedly so that I could make different builds, but I definitely did that a whole lot more in the first Dark Souls because I was PvPing more in that game. Okay. It'd be great if I wasn't hitting the wall. So again, we will be going straight to the Uchigatana. We're not going to put any time into upgrading the falchion or the scimitar that we'll get later on. We will instead just walk straight past those. Well, we're not going to walk straight past them. We may as well pick up the scimitar. And we can't exactly walk past the falchion when we've already fucking got the thing. So... although I'm sure the falchion drops somewhere, so I suppose we will have the option to walk past it, but my meaning is that we will go straight to the Uchigatana in World 4-1. And it will be a little annoying, because of course we will have to try and get past the skeletons. I'm not really looking forward to that. I never look forward to running past the skeletons, to be honest with you, but it will be necessary. So, we'll put up with it and do it. That's fine. So... I don't know what you're saying. What is Brinder A? I've got no fucking idea. Or now, it went from Brinder A to Brindao, so I've got no fucking idea. And when you type UM, it's like you're saying as in, like, trying to work out what you want to say. Anyway. Boulder. And then you can die, sir. What's very frustrating is that a lot of these guys are just so close to getting 2-shot, but then I have just that little bit more health to reduce, and then it takes an extra swing, and it's a bit of a waste of time, and all of that. I'm going over this way just because I like to do it. It feels like I'm being a completionist in a sense. Stop that. I actually pulled out my shield because I was expecting to parry him there, but it didn't seem to be necessary. Okay, we do have a piercing weapon. No. Well, it can be used as a piercing weapon, but this is a critical weapon. This is going to be the dagger. I didn't know what it was. I knew it was a dagger because it's, you know, that's the weapon type. You know what we can do, guys? You guys... oh, I didn't mean to use a half moon grass there. That was a bit of a waste. You guys are probably screaming at me, and I don't care. This is what I do for fun. Let's go, mate. I've got my dagger. Hey. See, that's pretty decent damage given how much stronger this guy is. I'm going to bring him over here. I want to fight him in a wider area. Why is this necessary? It's not. It's just so I can get a few extra souls, I suppose. Fuck. Could you come over here so that I can actually circle around you, sir? Here we go. Beautiful. I'm too scared to parry him because I will get one shot by him if I'm not careful. It's a chain stab. And because he's against that wall, we're going to bring him over here. Oh. We don't want him to do a shield bash. Oh, this fucking asshole. I know you think you're going to play it like that, but you're not. failed the... No, you fucking don't. Get out of here, you prick. Alright. Full Moon Grass times 3 and 2,070 souls. Very good. To put it in perspective, I had at that point collected about 348 souls. So that's a very good increase given the point we are at in the game. If we didn't have something like a dagger to give us extra critical damage for backstabs, that would have taken a whole lot longer. But yeah, we played that fairly well, I think. Because I'm going to be parrying this guy, I'm just going to keep my dagger and do 232 damage, which is very nice. We will go and get the Cling Ring, of course. And then make our way back up to there. Pick this up first, though. I'm hoping it's not too dark for you guys as far as my camera. This is what I prefer. I hope that you guys don't want to have my face heavily illuminated like it was, for example, in the previous Breath of the Wild recording, but... yeah. Okay, let's switch to the falchion, shall we? There we go. How about we take it nice and slow and use our shield? It's more fun that way. There's something about, you know, the fast rolling, hacking and slashing style of play that doesn't really suit me. I wanted to do it initially so that I could save time, you know. But I've gotten bored of it. I prefer the dueling style, that is to say, of shielding. That didn't really work so well, did it? I've got all types of grass up to full moon right now, which is crazy. I just started. So, stay away, please. Okay. They are dealing damage through my shield, sadly. Get the fuck away from these guys. They are causing problems. In case that were not obvious. I could throw firebombs, but I would like to save them for the boss. They're all falling down. Could do a reference to... oh no! Could do a reference to the first single of... oh my fucking Jesus Christ. I was going to say do a reference to the first single of... Bailey's... Ugh. A Man on the Edge. By Iron Maiden, 1995. I like how I died there, but not against the fucking Red Eye Knight. You've got to be bloody kidding me. It's always a moment of embarrassment when I die in this frickin' area in New Game, but it is the way it is. Sometimes you get complacent. That's me. That's me! What's that reference? Oh yeah, retarded policeman. You couldn't get away with doing retarded policeman these days. God, that's weird. I just had this... I haven't thought about the retarded policeman in like a decade, okay? And it just suddenly just flooded back to me. And I just went, that's me! And then I realized, hold on. You couldn't get away with that today. That was only like... what was that? Like 2009, 2008? Something like that. And like... it's only a little over 10 years ago. I mean, if you fucking did that today, you'd have... the whole of Twitter would be screaming to start with. And... you can't do that. Oh, fuck off, it's funny. Anyway. And he was literally retarded. He had Down syndrome. Or something like that. It was weird. But, you know, I don't know the story behind retarded policemen. But, I mean, it wasn't even that funny. It was a little funny at the time. But, you know, it was a different world. Which is very strange to say. It was only 10 years ago, but... it was a different world, where you could have a series called The Retarded Policeman on YouTube and not have a bunch of people crucifying you online. So, yeah. Here we go. There we go. Here we go, there we go. Welcome to the Doomlink commentary. Oh my god. Hey, can you not throw fucking firebombs if you're right in front of me? That's annoying. That looked rather... I appear to be very adroit with my... sword, do I not? Well, as it so happens, I didn't really intend for it to look that good. Oh. Can't do drop attacks in this game, sadly. Would have been funny if I managed to drop on his head, though, and kill him that way. I did drop on his head, I just didn't kill him that way. You know what would be interesting? If they actually did something here. Like, there's nothing here. There's no reason for me to walk here. If they could put an item there, that would be lovely, but they didn't. Turpentine. You know, it would be even more lovely if I could not die in this frickin' area. That would be excellent. Oh, retarded policeman. I can't even remember, like, what was happening in the episodes. I just vaguely remember him writing a ticket to someone and, like, I think a girl gave him a kiss or something. It was weird. It was a weird show. Obviously, it was like a YouTube series or something like that. But I wonder if it still exists. It probably does. I mean, maybe not on YouTube, but... And it wouldn't be monetized, probably, but, you know. I guess calling people with Down syndrome retards is not advertiser friendly, but anyway, it was affectionate, but in a slightly demeaning way. Okay, stop it. Stop it. Alrighty. Oh, I just sorry, I can't get over this. I haven't even thought about that for so long. It's like how only a few months ago I remembered Will It Blend? I hadn't even thought about that for so long, but I started randomly making references by saying, that is the question, and just like, wait, hold on, that was the series, yeah. It always, in fact, it's references that come to mind before the actual thing that it's from. Like, I randomly went, that's me, and then I realized, wait, what's that from? And then I remembered, it all came flooding back to me, and it was the same with, that is the question. And then, yeah, which of course came from, Will It Blend? That is the question. And he had this weird fucking face. It's like he'd just done 5 lines of cocaine. He's just got no facial expression. He's like, Will it blend? That is the question. And then that fucking cheesy music. That was what I fucking enjoyed the most about that series. It was a good advertisement for Blend Tech, but more than anything else, it was weird. It was so cheesy and silly, and I very much enjoyed it. I do at times go on a little nostalgia trip, and I remember I somewhat recently, on Demon Souls here, went on a nostalgia trip about the Tony Reviews 7. Oh my god, the Tony Reviews 7, and I've talked about him before, but he now does ASMR, and it's, I mean, he's super, super gay to start with, but he used to, I think he ended up getting some fame because he actually dared to review a PewDiePie video in like 2012, but I had actually found him just through browsing YouTube like 2 years before then, maybe about a year before then, and it was so funny. Like, I do not recall, I'm probably reiterating this at this point because, to be honest, I did mention it like maybe 10 recordings ago, maybe 15, I don't know now. But this was back when you could do video responses to videos on YouTube. I think they got rid of that like 6 years ago. But basically, he would make these reviews of videos that did not need reviews at all, and he would make the most unprofound statements about the videos that he had watched. Like, it was all about him and not the video that he was reviewing, and it's like, why? Okay, to start with, why are you doing this? Second of all, like, it's strange. It was just the strangest thing, and I found it so funny, especially when he didn't like something. If he kind of liked it, it was like whatever, but if he strongly disliked the video, he would just, it was so funny. The things he would say and the way he would say them, very, very funny. And he actually made something of himself on YouTube through ASMR, so good on him for sticking it out, but fucking hell, what a way to just spend your time on the internet. Making random ass reviews for videos, and you know, I'm telling you, they were so completely unnecessary. That's what was funny more than anything. I mean, yes, it was his super gay demeanor and all of that. That was funny, but holy god, just the situation was hilarious. The fact that you'd like, we're talking things like unboxing videos. Like, he would do a review of an unboxing video. This is the sort of thing, I mean, you know, unboxing videos were pretty popular back at that point in YouTube, but god, like, who needs a review video responding to a fucking unboxing video? It was the unnecessary nature of the reviews that made them most funny to me, and yeah, I will never fucking forget that. It was so, so funny, and I miss shit like that on the internet, I really do. Now it's just a bunch of fucking memes and stuff, and people trying to be funny, but yeah. You look at YouTube comment sections these days, they're an absolute shitfest of people trying to be funny, and for the most part, they're not very original about it. You'll go on many different videos, and the top comments, it's the same shit, just in a different context every time, and it's very, very grating. And anyway, end of rant, if that were a rant. Here we go, I've got the scimitar, and again, we're not going to bother with that, although I might use it if it's stronger. No, it's not stronger, okay. I think the scimitar has a little... No, it has less range than the falchion, doesn't it? I could be wrong, but... You can see that's only 88 damage, whereas I think the dagger deals like 150 on the backstab. Half moon times 3. We'll go and get some materials over here. It's a good thing for me to like talk about things outside of this game as well. I do like to keep my commentary very game focused, but this is the 50th part, and that wasn't even the... Like, this series was not the first time I had touched on this game on my channel, you know. I've probably said the same shit many, many times in this location going through it in new games, so it's probably better that I don't rehash over the exact same shit every single time I go through World 1-1 in a new game run. It's probably better if I talk about something different. Although I was technically rehashing the discussion about the Tony Review 7, but fucking hell, I mean, that's worth rehashing, because that was funny shit. Let's go on another nostalgia trip, shall we? Someone I used to watch his name was Empty's Awesome. I can't remember if his name was Empty's Awesome or Empty is Awesome. I think he had 2 channels, but I think it was all deleted in 2009 or something, or 2010, but he was very funny. He would scream about the most ridiculous things. It was basically him in a room in his house, and he would just scream at the camera, and he would throw a chair and break it. That was his thing, and it was very, very funny. He looked like Josh Peck, and he would get very angry with anyone who said that he looked like Josh Peck. I think he made several videos about that, screaming at his viewers for saying he looked like Josh Peck, and saying, I'm not fucking Josh Peck, and he was throwing chairs in his room. Like, it got more and more ridiculous as the videos went on. Like, it started with one chair that he would break, and then, you know, he'd get a splinter or whatever, and then it turned into a pile of chairs, and then it was just rubble, and he'd just destroy this stuff. I mean, it probably doesn't sound particularly funny as I recount it, but it was very funny to watch at the time. And I did watch back one of the few videos that was re-uploaded to YouTube by someone who had obviously downloaded the video, and I still found it quite funny. Just the way he would scream. He was so extreme when he would scream at the camera. He had a very good screaming voice. I don't know how he didn't, you know, pop a blood vessel in his head. But, yeah. How about you use some Google Translate, mate? Anyway, aside from that, you know, so I can fucking understand you or something. There we go. But anyway, I would recommend watching that stuff because it was very funny. What else was very funny, aside from stuff that has now become quite well known in recent years? I don't know. I'm probably not going to have that be the topic of discussion the whole time, but Empty's Awesome immediately came to mind, and that was very funny. I miss those days of YouTube. Someone who I found through Monster Hunter, back when Try was very new. He was actually recording stuff on the Japanese version from memory. His name was Thorkel the Tall, and he would just... wow, he's very, very funny. And he... particularly the videos, Cacophony of Insects, what else was there? There was his review of Nier Gestalt. There was the ones that I had found. I first found him through the video that he made called Giganox Used Double Team, which was a Try clip of him playing, well, going up against Giganox in the tundra, and he was invaded by a Devil Joe. And Then you had Evil Joe used Dig as well. Of course, Evil Joe was his name before the English version came out, because of course Devil Joe's name is Evil Joe, which is actually correctly translated as Evil Jaw, but everyone called it Evil Joe, or called him Evil Joe, and then the official translation was Devil Joe, because they decided that devil was better than evil, but they still didn't make the connection that jaw was jaw. So, that's the problem, you know. It's very much up to interpretation when it comes to katakana in Japanese, but it was definitely meant to be Evil Jaw. And everyone who I've told that to is like, well, I'm glad they didn't call him Evil Jaw, because that's shit. I think it's actually a nice name, personally. Hello, Jenny, good to see you. But, yeah, I think Evil Jaw is a nice name. But anyway, Thorkel the Tall, he's very, very funny. Or was very, very funny. He doesn't really make videos anymore, but that's alright. I think it's good to not feel pressured to make videos. Just make a few really good videos from time to time, and then... Oh, he also had another one in Try, which was... It was a Diablos thing where he had put a Diablos to sleep, and he was bombing the Diablos, and then a feline came and blew up the fucking bombs along with him. And it was quite funny, because, you know, the felines used to run after you with bombs in Try, and it was quite awful. And then the classic line, oh shit, it's a feline, no! And then he's just screaming it, obviously. I mean, I wasn't necessarily a fan of people who would scream in videos, but those two in particular, Empty's Awesome and Thorkel the Tall, were very good with their screaming. Either way. All precursors to PewDiePie, incidentally, who made a name for himself originally as a person who would scream on his fucking videos, but I found him to be a bit silly. I don't know. There's a fine line between being silly and being funny when it comes to screaming on camera, but... Either way. Again, it just saves me, talking about things like this just saves me from talking about the same shit every single time. And I understand that some people may be watching this build now, not having seen anything else that I had done in Demon's Souls thus far, and therefore would probably appreciate something more game-centric when it comes to my commentary. But the thing is, for those of you who have watched 50 frickin' parts at this point, yeah, you're probably looking for something a little different. It's not that I feel pressured into doing one or the other, it's just, it ultimately comes down to what I feel like doing. And I feel like reminiscing. If you don't like it, I don't really know what I can say to you other than, too bad. Alrighty. Consume some grass. Oh yeah, so leather armor, leather boots. We may as well equip these, because I think the old ragged set is female only, isn't it? Is it better than what we have? No, it's not. But certainly having some kind of gauntlets versus no gauntlets is an improvement, so we will keep with that. We want to equip firebombs, and we will apply turpentine through the menu, I think. No, we won't. We'll do it through the usable items. Makes it a little easier. How's the lighting? Still looking good. That's what I like to see. Take another drink. I wish I had some actual wine and I could, like, you know, drink wine. But that does the job too. It's not too bad. I'm trying to save money on alcohol lately. Okay, what am I doing? We will walk in, apply our turpentine, and get ready to throw some firebombs. Maybe it would be smarter to apply the turpentine after having thrown the firebombs. But, you know, not everyone makes smart decisions. I'm clearly not one of the people who do. As you can see, firebombs really do make it easy to complete this boss, and quite frankly, I have absolutely no misgivings about using firebombs for the reason that I never use them anyway. So it's better that I use them against the boss, because I'm not going to use them outside of this boss fight anyway, is what I mean to say. I think it's quite obvious what I meant to say, but you know, may as well make it clear for those of you who don't understand Doomlink when he talks. And if you don't, you are not in a minority, incidentally. Because Doomlink can be rather unclear and cryptic when he talks. Obscure. Alrighty. So we have a lot of souls right now, more than we normally would at this stage in the game, because of course we did go and kill that Red Eye Knight. And we did have to do this twice, sort of, because we did die stupidly. So, I forgot to actually check to see how many I had. I think I had 7,806? Is that right? I didn't really pay attention, but I think that was the number that I saw. The number that I half committed to memory. That is the number that I had committed to memory, somehow. I'm glad that I can remember numbers like that. You guys are probably thinking it's not very impressive, Doomlink, but it is, because you don't understand. Like, I was not paying attention to that number at all, and then I recalled what I had seen in my eyes at that time, and I went, oh, 7806. Anyway, we will go and talk to the Monumental, level up, then go to World 4-1 and pick up the Uchigatana. I'm looking forward to having that. I don't know the stats, or the stat requirements, speak English, Doomlink, but I'm guessing again that it's 12 strength and 16 dexterity. That's what I'm feeling in my bones at the moment. Of course, the more dexterity, the better. I don't want to go to World 4-1 with all of these souls because I will live to regret it, I think. Because 4-1 will be a place of dying over and over and over again, probably. Might not be. I would rather it not be, but it might be. In fact, it probably will be. So for that reason, I would like to not have a shitload of souls as of this point in the game. 7,800 is a lot. Okay. So, do we want the... We do want the lead demon soul because we will use it for the scraping spear. The scraping spear is not really going to be a major part of this build, but it is a dexterity based weapon, and it's something that's made from a boss soul. So I think I would like to have it. I will not consume the lead demon soul at this stage, I will put it away for later. And the scraping spear, again, is not really something that you use in PvE, but it's still not a terrible weapon. It has pretty short range for a spear. But it's fun. Lead demon soul, here we go. And we may as well give you the jade hair ornament while we are here. Yes, yes. Best of luck to you. I do feel bad for this guy and his daughter. Mainly because this guy is actually nice. He's one of those few really nice people in this game. He's next to an absolute cock face named Baldwin over here. Hate this guy, he's got such a bad attitude. There's nothing stopping me from slicing your damn head off. Really. Hello, Mona Doom. You also have... Oh, hold on. Okay, someone made the Mona Lisa but with me as the Mona Lisa, which works because I think I do have similar hair to the Mona Lisa, although I would not compare my visual looks to that of the Mona Lisa. To suggest that I am equivalent to a work of Leonardo da Vinci's is quite an honour. Okay, so... Do we want to put away any of this stuff? No, that's fine, we'll keep that. And we can replace the Cling Ring with the Ring of Herculean Strength because we may as well. Ugh, my eye is itchy. Moving on from itchy eyes, I think we can now level up. Again, we will aim to... Okay, stop it. Yeah. I do seek soul power. Imagine even giving us the option to say no. Why do they do that? I love this game, but why? Why would you say no? It might make someone who's brand new at the game to not really know what they should choose. Like, what are the pros and cons of saying yes or no? You know, anyway. I feel like I want to go to 13 with you. I'm scared. You know what I'm really scared of? Losing these souls, but I almost want to go and get them. You know what I could do? I could be sensible and just check the wiki. Let's check the wiki right now. Let's be smart. My name's Doomlink and I'm making good decisions today. We will go to weapons. We will go to straight swords. Come on. Of course, it's a whole lot easier in theory until you actually try to load web pages with this fucking laptop. Did you know that there's a laptop shortage right now, at least in Europe? Yeah, I wonder why. Come on. The website's not even loading, come on. And I bet some of you are saying, haha, that's what you get for using the wiki.wiki, Doomlink. Oh, shut up. It is the superior wiki. Now you want to load the site. Okay, so apparently going to that page on the site didn't want to have it load, but as long as I... Why is the weapons page not loading at all? You know, it's really great when I'm trying to do a live stream and then I can't get these things to work. Fuck's sake. Okay, fine. We're just going to guess that it's 12:16. We are going to head to World 4 with 6,000 souls. Terrible, terrible fucking idea. But here I am. And we're going to try and get the Uchigatana and then return. Usually, I mean, if any of you have seen my recordings here before, you would know very well that I do at times have trouble doing what I'm about to do, which is going through World 4-1 when I'm extremely unleveled, trying to get something. Usually it's... What is it usually? I don't even know. Why have I been here in the past? Whatever. How much damage are we doing? We should equip the dagger, shouldn't we? Let's do that. Because we are going for criticals only at this stage. And we would be better off having increased critical damage. There we go. 115. That's doing about half his health, which is good. Now, I would like to hit you so that you come to me. Do I have a bow? Well, even if I did, I don't have any arrows, so sadly that's not going to work. And I can only be in targetable distance for a crossbow to work, and I don't even think I have a crossbow, so... Yeah, not so great. Using the Thief's Ring here really does help, so... We're going to make use of that. We are currently making use of it. Yes, come over here, please. Sir. There we go. You don't want to actually successfully shield that because you will find yourself successfully losing all your fucking stamina. Which will cause guard break as well. Backstabbing on the stairs can be a problem, but that worked out fairly well. Get over here, sir. Yes, I know all about your rolling. It causes trouble. I'm guessing you mean Monster Hunter Freedom 2, not Freedom Unite 2. Unite is the G-rank version of Freedom 2. And is called Portable Second G in Japanese. Japanese? I think I have Portable Second G, don't I? You know what, I may as well. I'm going to demonstrate something on camera here. Something that I never have demonstrated on camera, and I don't know why I haven't. But I'd like to. Especially considering that my camera isn't flipped right now. I might actually increase the brightness of my... No, I'm actually happy with this. This is good. We'll keep this. One moment. Sorry, I bumped the mic. Okay. Now. Time for a showcase. Hold on. Where am I putting these? Here is fine, yeah. Here is Monster Hunter Portable. This is the Japanese Monster Hunter Freedom. Difficult to demonstrate, I suppose, but... That's Monster Hunter Portable. I got these a long time ago, but I've just never shown them, because I've never had a reason to. Like, why would I have a reason to show these? Monster Hunter Portable second. Tigrex's first appearance. There we go. Monster Hunter Portable second G. This is Nagakuga's first appearance. You can see that the chroma key is taking out a little bit of that. And then my baby, Monster Hunter Portable third. This is the game that I imported long ago. So it's been with me for quite some time, but yeah. This one, Portable third, I think nowadays is actually quite valuable. But yeah, I got the manual and the UMD obviously. Manual is very nice. Hello, Vernon. May as well show the manual if I can. I can see it's been affected by moisture, which is a good indication that it's a game that I've had since around 2010, 2011. All of my games from then have been affected by moisture, but... smelling it. Yeah, it's lost that new game manual smell. Oh, sorry. May as well show this page. Can't really. And keep in mind that the colours have been taken out a bit by the chroma key, but... yeah. It's Monster Hunter Portable 3rd. One of the biggest games in Japan at the time. Absolutely huge. It was a cultural phenomenon over there. And together, those are the PSP games of the Monster Hunter series. All in a line. Thought I may as well demonstrate that, given that I probably wouldn't find the occasion to do it outside of this recording, because I don't know. I was just reminded of the fact that I hadn't done it before when I was mentioning Portable 2nd G. But yeah. Let's continue. I never bought those Japanese games. The only one that I bought with the intention of playing it was Portable 3rd, because of course it didn't come out in English, but the other Japanese games I got a bit after Portable 3rd because I wanted to... oh, shit. I didn't want to fight both of these guys, by the way. But yeah, I only bought them so that I could have them. Because I, you know, I like to collect things from time to time. Fuck me. I don't want to fail this. I really don't want to fail this. Can I get them to leash? They generally don't leash, do they? Because they are designed to pursue. That is what they were created for. Although, looks like they have leashed. Except they're walking cheek and jowl, as if to say, you cannot fight only one of us. It's very annoying. Did I play Frontier? I wanted to back when it was new. And then in 2011 it changed. It became Ultra Anime, and I didn't even know it had become Ultra Anime until like 2018. I had no idea, because I basically... okay, so... going back to, say, 2009, maybe even 2008, it was around the time when I first played Unite, I wanted to also play Frontier, because I looked at the releases of Monster Hunter games, and I found Frontier, and I thought, wow, this looks great, and I was looking at videos online, and I'm like, wow, this is great, and I really wanted to play it. But at that time, it was harder than ever for a person outside of Japan to actually play the game, so I didn't. And to avoid being frustrated by the fact that I couldn't play the game, I just didn't look at anything to do with Frontier the whole time. And then it was not until 2018 that I looked at recent Monster Hunter Frontier stuff that I saw that it wasn't the game that existed in my memory, which was a very second generation Monster Hunter game. Just on PC. It was instead this ridiculous Ultra Anime version of Monster Hunter that was in no way a reflection of my memories at that time. You know what I need to do? I just need to run. This is just getting fucking ridiculous. Please fucking stop. No. This is not reasonable. You know, I feel that... usually if I have the Thieves' Ring, I can only bring one down. That usually works, but... whatever, man. But yeah, basically, once I saw that it became Ultra Anime, I was like, no. Not fucking playing that thing. But more than anything, it was the fact that I had a lot of testimonials from people who made it very clear that the game was pretty miserable to play. It was more grindy than any other Monster Hunter game that existed before or after it. Because it was a fucking PC MMO for the Japanese community, and I guess the Koreans as well, but yeah, wow. It was miserable in that regard. So I established that if I were to even put the time into getting the game, or being able to play it, not only would I have to have that monthly subscription or whatever, I would also have to put all this time into the game just to get anything done. It just sounded miserable. It didn't sound like something I wanted to play, and then once I saw the fucking anime stuff, I was like, no. You never got the chance to try it? The funny thing is, it was actually... I was surprised to find that it became Ultra Anime in, like, the 2011 patch. Which, to be honest, was only a few years after I had first discovered Frontier. So it was very strange to only find that out in 2018. Because, you know, it just went... it proved to me that the frontier that I had in my head had long since disappeared. I mean, technically, what I had in my head hadn't disappeared. A friend of mine actually went and played Frontier, and he said all of that content still exists, and it plays exactly the same. The updates of Frontier were such that it was like stuff just being added on top of itself. And then, if you chose to actually play through the game slowly, rather than boost yourself up to G rank, you could essentially experience the original Frontier game. It just wouldn't be in G rank yet. So, yeah, it was in G rank when they had the whole Zenith thing, and yeah. Just gonna attack you normally because I'm pissed. Ugh. Okay, I'm losing natural lighting. It's time to... probably only temporarily, but I will boost the brightness of my room. Sorry for bumping the mic stand. Almost as soon as I start moving the fucking brightness, the light begins to shine again outside. Well, there you go. You'll have a slightly more illuminated Doom Link this time. Maybe it's what you prefer. It is what it is. I'm trying to not have to adjust it all the time. It's annoying to adjust it. I need a fucking remote to do it, you know. I'm sure it could be done, but... fuck installing that. Oh. I almost want to say it was always called Frontier Z. I could be wrong, but... I couldn't find any advertising that didn't have the Z letter there. Oh, fucking roll around a bit so I can fucking hit you, you arsehole. Yeah, good idea. Okay, now let's take only one of them, if we can. Come on. I don't mind... that fucking bow arsehole is still alive. Get out. This is fucking dangerous, guys. Go, 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 go. Okay, that was worthwhile, that was worthwhile. Fucking, how do I miss the backstab? What's going on with that? I don't understand. I understand that getting that soul is very important, but there's no fucking point if I piss off the other one as well. It's very important that we fight them one at a time, otherwise we've got no fucking hope. I'm taking it slow so that I can actually succeed, rather than fucking up repeatedly. Risking losing our souls, you know. And keep in mind, I have to run back to the Archstone, so it is very important that I individually kill these guys. Otherwise it's going to be unreasonably difficult. I didn't know it started on the Xbox 360. It must have been G that I was thinking of. Good to know. My memories of that are just too vague. I knew it was on the 360, I just didn't know that it started out on the 360. Just goes to show that... I mean, why would they release it on the Xbox 360 if it was Japanese only? Maybe that indicates that they were intending on it being outside of Japan as well, because it would be very... I cannot think of something stranger than Capcom releasing a game exclusively for 360 and also exclusively for Japan, because obviously Japan's console was the PlayStation 3, obviously, so it's very strange. They must have been originally planning for an international release and just tested the waters with the Japanese version, and they felt that it wasn't worthwhile. I don't know if the 360 version received updates, it probably didn't. They'd probably have to do it with physical hardware, as in an actual disc. But I'm guessing they didn't do that, because I don't remember seeing another Xbox 360 version of Frontier by 2009, for example. And I do remember the game originally coming out in 2007. Okay, so now that we have the Uchigatana, we can see if we have the stats needed to use... Ooh. Colour me shocked. We need 18 strength. That's a bit of a far cry from 12, isn't it? Jesus Christ. Okay, well, yeah, I'm actually shocked that it requires that much, but whatever. This is why I'm very, very glad that we did not consume those, like, all of those souls and be left with 12 strength. That would have been a miserable time. So I definitely played that right. I'm glad that I did that. When the Xbox was competitive, they were buying up a lot of Japanese IPs to compete with Sony. That's a fucking good idea, Microsoft. Interesting. I wasn't paying attention to that space during that time. I was still, you know, doing Nintendo stuff, and that was if I was even playing games at all. I didn't really play games very much back then, so that's very interesting. Okay. Just put away Blade Stone. Well, I'm sure that what Jenny is saying is hitting the nail on the head there. That's probably why it was on 360. There must have been an incentive from Microsoft to put it on Xbox 360, although it obviously didn't pan out entirely because it ended up being Japanese only. I have absolutely no, how do I say, sympathy for Microsoft's fall from grace in the console space, because it was those bastards who fucking normalized paying for an online service while playing video games. Those guys can fuck off. They almost single-handedly ruined it because they were fucking greedy enough to do that, and because so many people were willing to pay for it, all the other companies were sitting there going, well, people are willing to pay for it, why aren't we making money? Let's do this. All of a sudden it becomes normalized thanks to the greed of Microsoft, and that's without looking into it at all. That's my impression of it. I could be totally wrong, but I'm putting that forward as my opinion because that's my observation. I think we can pretty much blame Microsoft for that. But anyway. Anyway. What am I doing? I'm standing here for some reason. I came here to do something, and I don't even know what it is. I really did come here to do something, and I just don't know. Whatever. Let's go and level up, shall we? Maybe I came there to do nothing. Or went there to do nothing. Alrighty. So we need 18 strength, and 18 strength is a lot of strength to have in a dexterity build, isn't it? But better that we do it now, when the soul requirement is so low for leveling up. Yeah, Nintendo doing it was, for me, when it became clear that it was the point of no return. We had reached the event horizon because Nintendo are literally the guys with the lowest money spending demographic, I think. Or perhaps that's not even true. That definitely used to be the case. But I remember someone bringing to my attention the fact that Nintendo in today's gaming community is not actually appealing to as many younger people as they used to. Because nowadays it's games like Fortnite that have really taken off with the younger generation. So actually, Nintendo's demographic is an aging demographic. So there's more people willing to spend money now. That's very interesting. So I guess, really, it's not as big of a surprise as I first thought. Because it would be strange if you're marketing all of your stuff to people between the ages of 8 and 15 or something. And then, you know, requiring paid online, but I mean, I understand it's a family console, it's not for children, it's just the idea is it's always been more accessible to children, so having something like paid online would be a bit rough under those circumstances. But yeah, the demographic has changed for Nintendo for sure. So that's an interesting point that I just thought of myself. Oh, I'm so smart. That's the way that came off. I didn't mean for it to come off that way, but yeah, I was just thinking of that in my head, and yeah, interesting thought. Okay, what do we want to put the rest of our points into? Probably vitality. We're not going to touch intelligence, not interested in that. We're not even going to... We will not be cheesing anyone with Poison Cloud during this build. Hand on heart, won't be happening, because we've done that enough in the Northern Regalia build. No points into luck, obviously. Nothing into faith or magic. It's all strength, dexterity. Well, I think we can leave strength at 18. I don't think we have a reason to take it further than 18. 18 is almost too much for a dexterity build, so... yeah, it's not going any further than that. So basically we will go with vitality, endurance, and dexterity, I think. And with that in mind, I think... oh, shit. Suddenly pressing circle to make my selections. That's a good start. Hurry up. I think we're going to put the rest of our points into vitality, which ended up being 2 points. Great. Crescent Moon. Do we want to buy any of that? Not sure. Either way, I will go and equip the Uchigatana. We're dealing 105 damage here, and I think we can also level it up through Baldwin, because we do have some Sharpstone. See how high we can get this thing in terms of damage. Upgrade equipment. We don't have the souls to do it, but we do have the materials to do it. But I just remembered that I haven't actually consumed these babies. Here we go. Alrighty. And I think I will equip... Hold on. We'll equip these so we can use these nice and quickly. How long have we been recording for? An hour and 10? We'll probably go for another hour at least. Actually, no, I said that it would be... No, I didn't... All I said that it was that it was going to be a minimum of 2 hours, yeah, so obviously that's more than 2 hours. I had it in my head that it would be 2.5. No, it was... Originally it was 1.5 was my minimum for this series, and then I decided that it would be 2. Put my fist down and say, 2 hours. Minimum. Okay. Now we've got a lot of souls. We've got 7,000 again. While the requirement has gone up, this is still going to be pretty good for this point in the game. Soul of the mind, key to life, seek the soul of the lost withdrawn from its vessel. Let strength be granted so the world might be mended, so the world might be mended. We'll take you to... Should we take you to 15, or should we now go to endurance? I'm taking you to 15. I just feel better doing that. It feels like I have more control over what's going on. Should we get the purple flame shield? No. We need, I think, 20 strength to use that. I think. I was just thinking for the early game. I'm not going to be using a heavy shield for this. We'll probably get the night shield or something like that, but... Yeah. You fucking idiot, Doomlink. You consumed the soul so you could upgrade the sword, not to level up more, you fucking fool. You should have upgraded the sword first and upgraded with what you had left. Fucking hell. Oh my god. Okay, what do we need in terms of souls? Let's just grind the fucking souls that we need. You fool, Doomlink. It won't take long. We need 2,060 souls. When I say it won't take long, I mean that I'm actually going to go to World 4-1 to do that, because these enemies at the start drop like 1,000 souls each, which is a lot compared to World 1-2, so... It is better that we do that. How's the lighting? Oh, it's looking good. This is with increased brightness in my room. So there you go. You can see that critical damage isn't that amazing, but regular damage will be pretty good. Well, not even, actually. This is kind of not amazing. Oh, here was me. Here I was saying that it was 1,000 per kill. It's actually like a bit under 300 actually. Fuck's sake. Don't know why I thought it was that many, but... Yeah, I suppose the Uchigatana is a bit of a rough weapon to start with, given its very high strength requirement. I don't even know why they require so much strength for it. I would understand a weapon like the washing pole, which incidentally doesn't exist in this game, but... The washing pole makes sense, but... An Uchigatana requiring 18 strength? That's really rough. Is it that heavy of a weapon? I suppose it is. Well... Go fight this guy, come on. Ow. I'm not really worried about dying, to be honest. Failed the backstab. The good thing is that you can sort of slice him as he makes his passes around you, you know? There we go. I do like the roll attack with the Uchigatana. Of course, a good thing about this weapon as well is that it does bleed. Obviously, we're not going to be seeing the bleed effect with skeletons. I'd like to think that's quite obvious. If you're fighting a skeleton expecting to be able to get it to bleed, then I do fear for you. And I fear for a game that would have skeletons bleeding as well. I mean, skeletons could have a little bit of flesh, but you can see that these guys do not have any flesh. Or blood. And even then, I do wonder whether or not bleeding would hurt them. Probably not. If they're already moving skeletons with a little bit of flesh on them, don't think bleeding would make a difference. You can just go and kill yourself. That sounds like a great idea. Okay, we now have 2,364 souls. We can now fucking upgrade our weapon, which was what we were wanting to do initially, but I actually completely forgot what the fuck we were doing, because I was busy talking about stuff. I don't just hate the current state of video games, Jenny. I hate the current state of everything. If it were not obvious. And if it was not obvious, then that's a good thing, because that means I've actually been controlling myself somewhat. The current state of everything has gone downhill. And and that was before my time as well. Look at me going to the fucking Maiden Black again. But yeah, that's the situation. Everything has devolved. It really has. In all areas. Before any of us were born, things were devolving. Things are worse now than they were 10 years ago in our estimations. And before we were born, things were worse then than they were 10 years before then. So it's just, in everything, video games, entertainment media, culture, everything. Everything has just gone down, down, down. And those poor fucking people being born now will have no idea. They will just take it at face value, not look to the past, and just continue along. Because why look at the past, right? What could we possibly learn from the past, I wonder? Anyway, it is how it is. Not to sound like some old fogey, but really, that's just the way it is. And I do hope that I make it very clear that it's not me being some old fogey when I say this. When I do make it clear that this was long before I was born. Things have always been declining. Always. Anyway. We are nice and fast moving here. And we've got a nice katana to use. Called the Uchigatana. And I went and got hit stupidly. You can see that I'm doing a lot of damage for this point in the game, which is good, that's what I like. We'll just go one-handed because I do find it to be more graceful than two-handing. Visually speaking, I will give you a point of comparison. This versus this. To me, one-handed is more graceful. You may disagree, and I may not give a shit. No, I definitely don't give a shit. Ha! If there is a god, please send me to the Demon Souls universe forever. Or send my soul to the Demon Souls universe forever. I don't think you want to go to the Demon Souls universe. It seems like a pretty depressing place. Like a really depressing place. Be careful what you wish for. But maybe it's a more interesting place than this. Okay. Just trying to get more upgrade materials by killing these guys. It looks like we did get something from killing... Oh, no, not this one here, but... Looks like we did get something over here, yeah. Surprised that I missed that. I'm glad that I'm getting Sharpstone, that's actually what I need. You can see I've got 4 shards of Sharpstone here, which is good. I'll have to make a determination as to whether or not I want to make all of my weapons sharp, or what, because I think some weapons might be better off just staying in their regular paths and upgrading through Sharpstone, you know. Especially considering that I have some strength here. Because basically the difference between regular dexterity weapons upgrading through Sharpstone and sharp weapons upgrading through Bladestone is that obviously Bladestone is purely dexterity scaling, whereas Sharpstone upgrading stuff, not to say that it's quality, but it is going to take your strength into account more than Bladestone. So, in other words, sharp weapons. So, yeah, I'll have to make a decision on that. You're dead. Hello. Hello, hello, hello. It's been a little while since I did that. Every single time I say hello, I resist the temptation to do that. Had to give in to temptation for once. Let's go and rescue Ostrava. We may as well. I don't know what we're actually wanting from him, but may as well get the Dark Moon Grass. As far as when I do a quality build, and I suppose I was intending on doing a quality build this time around rather than a dexterity based one, but when I realised that I hadn't done a dexterity build, I decided that dexterity was the way to go. But as far as when I do a dexterity build, or rather when I do a quality build, we're doing a dexterity build now, Doomlink. Get yourself in gear. I don't know, I would say it will probably come after this build, or it might not. It really depends on what I feel once I finish this. Maybe I'll want something a little bit less conventional after this, because I don't think it gets any more conventional than a dexterity build. I could do something like a spiked shield build. I could do... what else was I thinking of that was a little strange? I could do a New Game Plus run of my magic build. I could do a few things. I mean, that is technically conventional, but I was also thinking that it was about time I returned to my magic build and did a New Game Plus run of that. Yeah, I think the Monster Hunter universe is something that I would much rather be a part of rather than the Souls universe. The Souls world is very sad, bleak, and depressing, whereas Monster Hunter, there's definitely some sad elements to it, but it feels a bit more real world. I mean, the real world is pretty sad, and I think the Monster Hunter universe is sad in the same way. I think the Monster Hunter universe is really inviting. I think I'd be at home there as well, and there's no reason why you have to be a hunter in that universe as well. You could be a blacksmith, you could work in the item shop, you know. You could do whatever you wanted, but... yeah, I think that the Monster Hunter universe is a very nice place to be. At least compared to the Souls universe. Okay. I'm a bit annoyed that we picked up a slave shield back there, but... because obviously we do not need any slave shields. I can definitely live without that. I'm surprised that this guy managed to avoid my fucking strikes. You're a lucky man. And yes, there is definitely a lot of delicious food to be consumed in the Monster Hunter universe. I mean, look at those fucking meals that the cats cook you. You know, it's probably the way in which you interact with cats that is the most utopian-esque about the Monster Hunter universe. Alright. Try to avoid these archers up here. They do like to cause trouble. But these guys cause a whole lot more trouble if you leave them alive to fight the Blue-Eyed Knight. I'm glad he didn't open with a thrust. The thrust is what really fucks me up. Because it hits like an absolute truck, it has a prolonged hitbox, it's everything that's wrong with the world, actually. Don't like the current state of the world. I knew he was going for a heal, I just waited for that opportunity. It ended up looking so clean that it appeared to be unintended, but it was entirely intended. It was entirely intended. For a change. Not always do I actually succeed in getting clean stuff off like that, but yeah, that was good. I like the two-handed R2. It's one of my favourite moves in the series. It also exists in the first Dark Souls. I don't know about Dark Souls 2, but definitely in the first Dark Souls. Just that, the way you sort of position yourself to the side and then hold it above your head like that. I really like that. It's cool. It's got a nice look about it. Stone of Ephemeral Eyes. By the way, how many of those do we have? One. I was thinking it was one because I didn't remember picking up one before this point. I wasn't entirely sure. Royal Lotus. I don't know what that was. That wasn't a French accent, please believe me. It was not intended to be one. Anyway. I'm covering my ass in case someone who is actually French is watching this. Désolé. My French is shit. Okay. Let's head up here. May as well kill this guy. Oh, we're not one-shotting him. I knew he would have less health, well, no, I think it has been demonstrated that we are not one-shotting those guys. Although, we might be able to one-shot, yes. If we go two-handed, we can one-shot them, so that's a good thing. Alright. Beautiful. Late movers. I may record some Phantom Hourglass today, I'm not sure if I will. Sort of depends on how I feel, although I suppose I won't, because it's already getting quite late. By the time I would be in the mood to record Phantom Hourglass, the light outside will be waning, and then it'll be sort of suboptimal, at least as per my standards. So therefore, I think we'll leave it for tomorrow. Let's do one recording today, that's fine. Or I could do Breath of the Wild later, I don't know. I'd like to just... you guys have probably noticed that I'm recording a whole lot more Breath of the Wild lately, and that's not necessarily because I'm having a lot of fun with it. It's mainly because I just really want to be more consistent with it so I can actually make progress in that. I've been recording it for so fucking long, it's time to actually make some progress. It has reached that point. What I hate about this boss more than anything is how when you fight him, he always ends up having his back to the fucking wall, so when he falls over, it's not always the easiest thing to aim for his head. I'd like to get him over here. Can you please come over here so that you're not in the fucking wall? I would love that. Slowly but surely making his way over here. Come on. Alright, that should do. That's a lot better. Now when he actually falls back, I won't have him in the fucking wall. There we go. Bit two-handed. We won't do the strong attack because that will take too much time. Alrighty. One more of those. And we may as well go two-handed here because we're not really using our shield anyway. It'll be faster if we do it this way, you know. I wonder how our durability is going. I'm just interested. Because of course katanas do have limited durability. 57 out of 70, that's not too bad. Isn't it nice to read durability instead of duration for a fucking change? Imagine duration. What a good translation, guys. Duration. Unbelievable. Alrighty. And for a change, I'm not covering any of the... Okay, I'm covering a little bit of it, aren't I? Anyway, I was covering... Well, I usually cover the boss health bar a little bit, but I don't think I was this time, which is something a little different from the norm. So we currently have 10,862 souls, which is good. Crescent Moon Grass, which is actually something I don't mind having, because I like to have a little bit of Crescent Moon Grass so I can top up my health, you know. Also, I'd like to address the fact that my YouTube video processing for live streams has been really slow lately. These days it's been like 15 hours to process a video. It's ridiculous. It shouldn't take that fucking long, and I don't know why it takes so long. Like, some of you guys have probably noticed it, but when I do a live stream, it's almost like the next day when the video actually ends up on my channel, like the VOD. That's not by choice. I don't choose for it to take that fucking long. It's just that lately YouTube has been going super fucking slow with that. Now, I don't know if that's actually a good thing. It might be good. Maybe because it's much slower, the resulting video is high quality. That could be true. I can't say for sure. If that's actually true, and it's necessary for YouTube to take that fucking long to process the video for it to look good in the VOD, that's okay. I'm willing to make that compromise, but if it looks the fucking same, it's not good enough. So, yeah. Yeah, I'm telling you, like, you watch to see. Watch. When I actually draw attention to it, maybe it won't happen, but watch to see how long it takes for this recording to end up on my channel. It will take, like, it'll be tomorrow. It will take a long fucking time, and it's just unreasonable. And that's for hour-long recordings, a lot of the time. It's just ridiculous. I don't understand why it's been taking so long lately, but I almost want to say, and I don't know if this is placebo, I don't think it is, I think I can actually visually see a difference. But it seems like the videos that take longer to process actually end up processing with better quality. Now, I would like for it to not require that much fucking time to process the videos to make them look good, because I can tell you Twitch doesn't fucking need to do that. I can open Twitch, and I have just finished going live, and I can watch the video back in perfect quality. Right? Whereas YouTube can't do that. And then I can, you know, the video is ready to download in 20 minutes after having recorded it as well. So what the fuck? It's just as well that I'm able to download all of my streams from Twitch because I can actually get them in good quality. It's very annoying that about 7 to 8 months worth of my live streaming, I only have stuff that I can download off YouTube, which is inferior quality to what would have been on Twitch. But unfortunately, I was not actually downloading my videos off Twitch at that time, so all the stuff that I have downloaded is pretty low quality. But at least since more or less when I started my Majora's Mask, Let's Play, I've been able to download all of my streams in better quality. So anything that's on YouTube that's in lacking quality, that's been recorded in the last, let's say 8 months from now, maybe not that long, maybe 6 months. In the last 6 months, I would say, I actually have myself in perfect quality, fortunately. So maybe one day when there's a better fucking streaming service than YouTube, or perhaps when YouTube pulls its head out of its own fucking ass, I can re-upload those in better quality. But for now, we've got the YouTube quality, which is shit. And by the way, I will mention that I think the live stream quality on YouTube is a little bit better now, because the new dashboard makes it so that you've got 2 latency options to choose. You've got fast, and then you've got normal. I think now that I've selected normal, while it will be higher latency for you guys, you'll actually see a better stream on YouTube as compared to Twitch, and as compared to before. Before it was like a pixelated fucking mess, and you could compare the live feed from YouTube to Twitch, and it was like night and day. One was a pixelated mess, and the other was actually really nice and smooth looking. Well, yeah. At every single turn, YouTube has just been proving itself to be completely out of touch and not in keeping with the standards of the day when it comes to live streaming, and pretty much everything else. In terms of web design as well, you know, the basics of web design seem lost on the YouTube team. But anyway, you've been playing more Generations Ultimate. That's good. I've been playing a lot of Generations Ultimate as well, because I managed to get 2 of my friends on board with that game. People who had never played Monster Hunter before. I got them on board with Generations Ultimate, and we've been playing a lot. I've got them both to G rank. One of them has HR broken, and the other is in G4 currently. And there is absolutely nothing more. There is nothing that can give me more pleasure than having friends who've never played Monster Hunter start in an actual Monster Hunter game, not World, and they enjoy the process, and they want to hunt with me. That's really great. And I've been playing with a group of 4, the 4th guy being the guy who kicked Gaijin Hunter, and we've just been doing really well. And we've been hunting pretty much every day, and I've been adding on to my my hours in Generations Ultimate, so it's been really good. YouTube has just been useless on every level. Doesn't matter if you're a creator or a user, YouTube has just been a fucking headache. So, I'm glad you're seeing it as well, Arexion. It's just fucking terrible. Anyway, just going to reorganize this stuff. I know I've been standing here not playing and just ranting about stuff, you'll have to forgive me, but fucking hell, I have to sometimes just take a moment to talk about what's going on, because shit's a mess. I don't think we're using the Iron Demon Soul for anything, so we will consume that. I don't think I will live to regret that. I might equip these. Is it worth equipping them? Yeah, I think so. I've got an itchy nose. It's annoying. Yeah, there you go, Vernon. I was a little worried my buddy wouldn't grab Generations Ultimate because he already put about 1,500 hours into Double Cross, but he decided to grab it, which makes me happy. He's in high rank right now. I mean, I've said this many times, but the reason why I never played I never played Double Cross was because I thought, if that game ever comes out in English, I'm not going to want to play it in English because I would have already put all this time into the Japanese version. So I stuck it out, and it ended up being the right decision. There was nothing more validating than that moment when they announced that it was coming out in English. I was like, thank God. Thank God I actually just waited and didn't give in. A friend even tried to convince me to get the game in Japanese on the Switch. I was like, no. You never know, it might come out in English, so I'm not going to do it. And thank God I didn't. Thank God I didn't. Because there's nothing worse than feeling like you have to leave your progress behind and start all over again just because the game came out in a language you can actually fucking read and understand. That's really annoying, so yeah, really, really glad that I didn't give in and play Double Cross. Let's level up. Finally, after ranting for ages. Okay. Get you to 15. And now we'll focus on Dexterity. I think having Vitality and Endurance at 15 is a good place to leave it for now. We'll try to get Dexterity to 25 or 30 at this point. Okay, as far as shields, what would be good to replace this? Maybe the Kite Shield. We'll go and get the Kite Shield now. I think we can buy it, can't we? Heater Shield, sorry. You know, the Heater Shield is kind of like the equivalent to the Kite Shield. Or should I not? No, we'll buy it. I don't care. It's 2,000 souls. I can live with spending that. It's just an improvement over the wooden shields, so... It's not amazing, but it's better than nothing, isn't it? We'll just use this. Alright. Now what do we want to do? Do we want to go to 2-1? I think so. Yeah, I think so. Excuse me. That's right. There was something about Double Cross. The reason why I wasn't 100% sure that Double Cross would get an English version was because it was almost too good to be true. I was thinking, God, they fucked us with Portable Third and they haven't done it since, but what if they do it with Double Cross? Because it would be such a... You know, the reason why I said it was almost too good to be true was because Double Cross had so much content. I was thinking it would be just like Capcom to not do it, to not bring it to us. But they didn't, and I have all the love for Capcom for doing that. Maybe it was a given. Maybe it was never on the cards to not give it to the, you know, the rest of the world, but I'm just really glad that they did bring it out. And it's more important than ever now, because that way, World isn't completely dominating people's perception of what Monster Hunter is in the year 2018 to 19 to 20. Because if Generations Ultimate didn't come out in English, it would have been World and nothing else. And that's perfectly fine for many people, but I think it's quite obvious that it's not perfectly fine for me. In fact, I would much rather it to be one or the other, but not World. I'd love it if World was Japanese only. Then the Japanese can fucking play it and go, fuck this, and then it would never see the light of day over here. But of course that makes no sense, because it was literally designed for the Western audience, not for the Japanese audience. That's the reason why it's lost its charm. But let's not go over that again. Doom Link with the obligatory World Rant. Fucking stupid. But unfortunately, I cannot turn back the clock. I cannot go back to a time before that game released, so I have to continuously live in frustration, you know. Alright, I'm ready for the doggies. No, I've decided I'm not. I've decided that you need to die first. Okay, please hit him before... Oh my... Jesus. You can see I've leveled up a lot for this area because I even got hit by the fire from the fat official, and I was not harmed very much. So this guy over here was named the Fat Minister, I think, in the Chinese English version, which I had completely forgotten until I was playing the Northern Regalia build before. So they were originally called ministers, not officials. Fuck! And again, the Chinese English version was the first version that I played, but because I had played so little of that versus the European version, because again I did stop playing for a little while because the game absolutely handed my ass to me on a silver platter and said, hey, have a bite of this. And then by the time I played it again, I was playing the European version, so basically everything that I had learned from the Chinese English version had been overwritten by the European version. In other words, the Atlas translation for the English. So, yeah, I basically completely forgot that things like minister were used instead of fat officials, so I'll stop it. Are you sure that that's the case, Vernon? Do you have that confirmed, or is that a theory? Because I don't know if that's true. Because I think it was always a thought that Generations Ultimate would do well enough to release it in the West because of the Switch's success in the West. That's what I truly believe. I truly believe that Generations Ultimate would have released on the Switch, unless, of course, you're taking this from a good source that basically said in black and white that that's what happened because World came out, Generations Ultimate released. But Isn't the Atlas English translation kind of trash? I don't think it's trash, it's just less accurate. It's more localized as compared to the Chinese English translation. I believe the Chinese English translation is more literal, so therefore more accurate. So basically, it depends on what you prefer. But they originally didn't plan to release Generations Ultimate. I don't know why they wouldn't. Talk about... That's crazy. Talk about not having a pair of balls. What's wrong with you, Capcom? The Switch did so fucking well. Of course 3 Ultimate didn't do well. It's on the fucking 3DS and the Wii U. The 3DS wasn't doing that well at the time. It was doing alright. But the Wii U was bombing, right? You cannot just completely ignore console success when it comes to releasing your game, because that's extremely key to game sales. Were they that fucking scared? Oh, I know why they were so scared. It's because... That's right, I know exactly why they were so scared. It's because they had their balls in a vice already when they were making World. They had spent so much money making World, and so much money on advertising, that if World fucked up, that's what it came down to. It's not because World was so successful that they were like, oh hey, let's just give them Generations Ultimate. It wasn't that. It was that they had put their balls in a vice to such a high degree by spending so much on World, and that is evident in the fact that they had to cut certain things from the game. Like the base version of World was really quite awful because so many things were cut. You know, you had monsters like Duratotus, which was little more than a slot filler, because they had to throw out Laggy because they couldn't get his fucking body model animations correct, and all of this. And that was only the case because they were on such a tight schedule. They couldn't continue putting all this money into the production of World with no return on investment, so they just had to push it out, you know. And it's because they were on that edge that they certainly weren't going to look to spending money on distribution of a game that might not do well. So I think that's why. Well, this is the thing, Vernon. The sales for Monster Hunter before World... I don't know if that's true, Vernon, because much of Generations Ultimate content had already been translated in Generations. I understand there was a lot of extra content, but still. What I mean to say is that you can't... It's very difficult to base the sales on the games that came before. I mean, I don't know how well 4 Ultimate did, but I think it did pretty well. But I'm sure that 3 Ultimate would have played a part in their analysis of how well games had sold before that point. And again, the Wii U bombed. I bought a Wii U for 3 Ultimate. I wouldn't have bought it for anything else. I might have bought it for the Zelda remasters, but fuck. The Wii U did awfully. So of course 3 Ultimate wouldn't have done well, and there was no advertising for 3 Ultimate. It didn't exist. It wasn't there. Compare the advertising on the 3DS for 3 Ultimate versus 4 Ultimate. Very, very different. But yeah. Like, they actually tried to advertise 4 Ultimate. And I think it succeeded reasonably well. I mean, it wasn't amazing. It wasn't a fucking household name, but... Again, I think it would be very silly for them to decide that Monster Hunter hadn't succeeded, so therefore a Switch release wasn't worthwhile in the West. Come on, the Switch was doing so well. I'm not some sort of master of economics, but give me a break, Capcom. Anyway, again, I think they had really pushed themselves really hard with World financially, such that it was absolutely not justifiable to bring a further risk to the table by translating and releasing Generations Ultimate. But when World succeeded, it didn't need to succeed to the extent that it did, but it needed to succeed in order for them to go ahead with Generations Ultimate as well. That's what I believe, because evidence shows that they really did push themselves financially with World, so that's my view, and I'm sticking to it. Could be wrong, but I think it's correct. I think that would be the primary reason, because I honestly think that the success of the Switch would be enough to justify it. That's what I believe, because the success of the Switch compared to the success of the Wii U, and the 3DS incidentally, I think would be enough. Anyway. pierce this guy. It's alright. It takes a little bit longer, but it's worthwhile because it's a heavy hit. For Ultimate did better in sales because it was actually advertised in my view. I did not even know for the longest time that there was a 3DS version of 3 Ultimate. I don't know if that was just because I wasn't paying attention, but I really do not think that it had any presence in stores in the West at all. Had no presence at all. Oh, I completely forgot to pull the lever. That was a bit dumb. Need to kill the guy with the bag as well. I'm too busy ranting, but seriously. Depends on your mood as to whether or not you prefer World to Generations Ultimate. I've said it time and time again, I take no pleasure in disliking World. I'd love to enjoy it, and I didn't play it once and decided this isn't Monster Hunter, and then I never touched it again, and then decried its existence eternally afterwards. I instead tried it over and over and over and over again, each time becoming more and more depressed and angry. And then eventually I just had to put the controller down and say, that's it, never touching it again. You have more self-respect than to subject yourself to this further. It just got to that point. But yeah. I'm very comfortable with my opinion on World. I'm comfortable with almost any opinion that I have, but World I'm so comfortable with because I tried so hard to like it. I mean, I bought a PlayStation 4 for Monster Hunter World. Let us not forget this. I bought the console for that game. I didn't buy it thinking I wouldn't like it. I bought it thinking this was going to be my time sink for the next 3 years. I thought it was going to be Trive version 2 for me, in the sense that I was going to play it non-stop. I thought I was going to live on the game. Little did I know that in 3 months after that point I would be selling the PS4 thinking that I had made a pretty bad decision, even playing the game. But, yeah. That's my World story. Should I go back down and try to pick up some stuff? I've spent a lot of time in this fucking room, haven't I? Mainly because I haven't been paying attention to what I'm doing at all. I would definitely recommend that you play Monster Hunter Uchigatana. It's definitely worthwhile. It's something that you can't exactly just casually get into unless you're playing World, because it was designed with that in mind. They've always tried to make the new Monster Hunter games more accessible, but without destroying the Monster Hunter way. But then with World, they just went all out and said, fuck it. So, yeah, but if you play, I would recommend Generations Ultimate. If you've got a Switch, there is no reason why you shouldn't have Generations Ultimate. It's a very, very good game. Might be hard to get into at first, because there is a learning curve, but it is extremely rewarding. Extremely rewarding. Much like the Souls series is. Difficult to get into at first, but once you learn how to play it comfortably, very rewarding. And that's how it should be. Anything that's challenging to learn will inevitably be rewarding once you learn how to play it. Because that's the nature of it. That's the nature of struggling to succeed and then eventually succeeding. Obviously the success is more... There is more value when it comes to the success because you've had to work for it. Rather than coming into a game not knowing what the fuck you're doing, and the whole time you feel like you're doing the right thing even if you're doing the wrong thing, because the game is literally designed to make new players feel like they're not completely useless. And the whole idea of that is to keep people playing, to keep people spending money. It didn't work that well. Compare the sales of World to that of Iceborne, but still, the idea is that it was designed for beginners, and it worked in that way from a sales perspective. So, but the point of comparison is that if you go and play any Monster Hunter game before World as a beginner, you'll probably feel like you're not doing anything right. It'll be rough, it'll be uncomfortable. And unless you've got someone who's been playing for a long time helping you out and explaining how to play the game, which is what I've been doing with my two friends, it can be hard to continue. And I suppose they're lucky in a way to have me. It's not that I'm particularly special, it's just that I'm someone who can keep them playing by answering all their questions. It's, you know, they don't have to look online, they don't have to go on to fucking Reddit, which is mostly filled with new gen players anyway. So, anyway. It's just good. I give them the full-on trivia as well. I bet most of it just goes over their head and they don't pay attention. But like, when we fight a monster, I'm like, yeah, this monster first appeared in Monster Hunter 2 DOS, and I go into the full fucking history of the monster, and yeah, I don't think they really pay attention. But the idea is that I try to make it very clear to them that this is a game series with a history. Whereas people who play World, not only do they not care, or perhaps even realize that the game has a history, they completely fucking reject it. It's all about the newest thing. It's not about that. You're playing a game series. It's to be enjoyed in that way. Never had friends who've been into it. It is more fun to play with friends. I've spent a lot of my hunting time playing by myself, because I've never really been part of the community, and for that reason I've never really had friends who play the game. So, yeah. I can tell you pretty clearly what it's like to play with randoms, and it's not always the easiest experience. It can be very annoying sometimes. So, I mean, I've learnt how to do it effectively, but it's hard until you learn how to do that. But yeah. What I love about Generations Ultimate as well is that they don't force you to use styles. I can choose to play the game as if I'm continuing my 4 Ultimate experience by using guild style, and I love that. Thanks for giving me the choice, Capcom. If guild style didn't exist, I would feel extremely differently about Generations Ultimate. Extremely differently. But guild style does exist. So I'm very happy with it. Itchy nose. Ugh. But yeah, even if, I don't even think there are many people who are interested in the Soul series and play the Soul series who are not also intrigued by the Monster Hunter series now that World exists. So I don't think talking about what I'm talking about right now is entirely off base. Like, I don't think it's completely unrelated to the gameplay. I think there is an overlap, there is a crossover between Souls fans and Monster Hunter fans now. It wasn't always the case, I can tell you that much, but it is now, in today's world, where my 2 favourite game series have gone from being very unknown cult experiences to this is the mainstream gaming world. Everyone knows what they are, a lot of people fucking play them, and yeah, so in that way it's a very strange overlap. Times have changed, but I think in the case of Souls, for the most part it's been for the better. It wasn't always for the better. For a time I had lost faith with Dark Souls 2, but Dark Souls 3 restored that faith in me. But with Monster Hunter, we are now, like right now, we're at the point in Monster Hunter for me where it's the Dark Souls 2 experience. Okay, this is really important. When Dark Souls, I've talked about this many times, but please listen, please hear me out. Even if you've heard this before, it's just so important for me to say this. When Dark Souls 2 came out, it was opened, or rather it opened the whole series, the Soul series at that time, to a whole new group of people playing video games. All these prospective Souls players were playing Dark Souls 2 for the first time, and they thought it was amazing, so good. Whereas myself, and people who had played Demon Souls and Dark Souls 1, like me, were playing Dark Souls 2 going, this is miserable, this is fucking terrible. But all these people who had come into Dark Souls 2 were sitting there going, this is amazing, ah! And it's extremely demoralizing to have the mainstream gaming community love what you hate. Exact same thing with World. But the difference is that a game has come after Dark Souls 2, Dark Souls 3, has given people a point of reference, and now everyone's looking back to Dark Souls 2 going, whoa, that sucked. I don't know if the same thing will happen with Monster Hunter. It probably won't, because I think this is to stay. I don't think Capcom has the balls that From Software has. I don't think they do. So I think that Monster Hunter, and the changes made in Monster Hunter World, that is, Monster Hunter World and the changes made in that are to stay. I don't think it will remain exactly the same. Some things might return to the way they used to be, but for the most part it will remain the same. But it's funny, it feels like the Monster Hunter series is at that same crossroads that the Soul series was back in 2014. And I don't know. But I feel a whole lot more passionately about Monster Hunter World now than I did then, because I'm actually seeing long-time Monster Hunter fans not agreeing with me when it comes to World. And that's been hard for me, that really has been. They don't straight up think I'm stupid, they just don't agree with what I feel. You know, they don't think I'm so wrong that they don't appreciate where I'm coming from, it's just that they don't identify with those feelings, because they're not bothered by the same things I'm bothered by, you know? And ultimately, if you're not bothered by the things that I'm bothered by, you're not going to dislike World in the same way I do, you know? Okay, the skill system's completely different, but it's still fine to me, so I'm not going to consider that to be a bad thing. And that is the crux of the problem when it comes to, you know, whether or not people will agree with me. Anyway. Yeah, you'll be banging your head against the wall to an extent, Arexian, with Generations Ultimate, but if you come from the Soul series, you are well equipped. If you come from the Monster Hunter series traditionally and you go into Souls, you will be well equipped for the banging your head against the wall experience, and it's the same vice versa. If you come from Souls, I think that you're ready for Monster Hunter. There's grinding elements, there's learning curves, it's very different, but it's similar in that you really need to learn how to play. It is integral to your success, and it can take time. But because it takes time and because it's hard at first, it is rewarding in turn. Haven't really played solo in Monster Hunter, Vernon? It's a very different experience, and not one that I would recommend if you've got the option to play with friends. That's right. That's right, Vernon. And I was aware of that before they made that statement through my connections. The reason why they're doing this is because of Japan's response. Japan's response to World has been different to that of the rest of the world. And that's very good. I'm very glad. So, what I think, I'm going to make this statement now and it might not ring true in the future. We'll see what happens. But I think that Monster Hunter World is, comparatively speaking, the same as Dark Souls 2 in that the people who play it, when it comes out, not knowing what the games were like beforehand, love it. And then fast forward 5 years, for example. 5 years is a safe number. They'll look back at that first game and go, shit, that's like, compared to everything else, that kind of fucking sucked. And then I'll be sitting there going, thanks guys. Thanks for finally agreeing with me. It's not a matter of I told you so, it's just a matter of, well, you could have educated yourselves, given yourselves a point of reference to actually make a fucking informed decision, instead of having the fucking newest game force-fed to you with a fucking spoon before making your fucking decision. But yeah, anyway. That doesn't entirely work because there are a lot of long-time Monster Hunter players who still enjoy World, so I guess it's not the best argument, but anyway. The funny thing is, it was very interesting watching the people who absolutely loved World to the point where they'd be, you know, in tears over how great it was. Not really, just, you know, figuratively speaking, in tears over how great it was. And then they would play it so much. And this was before Iceborne came out. And then, you know, all of a sudden they're agreeing with me on everything that I had issues with in the game, because they'd played so much of it that they finally couldn't ignore it anymore. They were like, oh shit, yeah, this stuff is annoying. And then Iceborne came out, and then the fucking, how do you even say it, they were hypnotized again, and now they're having fun. And then maybe they'll get sick of it and start agreeing with me again. It was just very strange to see the opinions that I had about World 3 months into the game's release were not shared with the community at all. And then or the community did not share my views at all at that time. And then, just before the release of Iceborne, they all agreed. And then it changed again with the release of Iceborne. And what it ultimately comes down to is, you know, are they being sated when it comes to their entertainment requirements? Like, are they entertained? That's what it comes down to. And unfortunately, I just wish that people's desire to be entertained mindlessly did not override their critical thinking. Is this an improvement? If it's not, sit back and go, am I happy with this? But again, some people do actually put thought into it and do legitimately enjoy a world for what it is. So I'm not saying that you're someone who doesn't think that way for me. I'm just saying that there are people who don't even attempt to make an informed decision about it and rely purely on whether or not they're entertained. I was talking about that with Zelda. It's hard for me, and I'm not trying to turn this into a me thing, but my 3 game series were Zelda, Souls, and Monster Hunter. All 3 of them have, in recent years, gone huge, absolutely huge. Now, Zelda was always big, but Breath of the Wild has been quite a phenomenon. So, yeah. And unfortunately, all 3 of those series have changed a bit. Souls again has redeemed itself with me, but Zelda and Monster Hunter, they're both at a crossroads. It's very strange. Very strange. The crossroads have already been passed for Souls. I think they did the right thing, and now I think Souls has been put to bed in the right way. Which is great. I'm so happy that that happened. But now, we're at the same situation with Zelda and Monster Hunter. 2 more game series out of 3. There are only 3 that exist that I'm deeply passionate about. 2 of those 3 now are at the same crossroads that the first was, and I don't know how it's going to go. And I'm scared. And that's why people are probably sick of me constantly talking about this stuff, but I'm really passionate about it because I don't play a lot of video games. I really don't. I'm not a guy who plays all these different sorts of games. I stick to specific series, and those were the 3 that I stuck with, and I literally watched them fall away from underneath me, and I'm like, why does no one else care? And again, I understand it all. It's all opinions at the end of the day, isn't it? So I understand that sometimes when I explain these things, I explain it as if I'm the one with the correct opinion and everyone else is wrong, but it's not really how I feel, it's just how I communicate it. How I feel is that I wish people agreed with me. How I feel is that I wish people shared my opinions, not I wish people could see the truth. But my opinions are very strong in that I feel that they are justified, and I feel that there are issues that need to be addressed that people aren't addressing because they don't really care. Anyway. Definitely, Vernon. Every single game has had something that I didn't like as well with Monster Hunter. I fucking hated the mounting system for Ultimate because it was overpowered. I absolutely hated the Guild Quest system. It was fucking garbage. I don't like the fact that styles exist in Generations Ultimate. I'm glad that I'm given a choice, but I don't like the style system. I hate palicos. I think they're fucking stupid. I didn't enjoy underwater combat in 3 Ultimate and Tri. Didn't enjoy it at all. I look back on it fondly because it's interesting and different, but I didn't enjoy it at all. 2nd generation Monster Hunter, that was kind of fine. There was nothing that really pissed me off about that, because it was an improvement over 1st generation, but 1st generation was a fucking mess. That whole thing can fuck off. Like, that was awful. But it's Monster Hunter, to me. It's all Monster Hunter. But World, to me, there was a line, and it crossed that line into, okay, this has gone too far. That's how I felt. And it went too far because they were trying to make it too appealing to people who had never touched Monster Hunter before. And you know the way they did that? By taking out elements that made the game Monster Hunter. Should I be okay with that? I'm not okay with it. At all. So, maybe I'm inflexible? I don't think I am. I think there needs to be a certain degree of inflexibility, or you lose the things that make a series special. And how much more obvious can it get when Capcom, after having such incredible success with World, stand there saying, we're going to incorporate more elements from 3rd and 4th generation. You know what that means? It means that there is value in that. There's value in that, and they can see it, and I'm glad that they do. Whether or not they actually work on that will come down to how much they care about money over vision. They clearly care enough about the vision, enough about the creative process, to actually incorporate the things that made Monster Hunter special that they had since done away with. Good on them. Good on them. But it's all those fucking people who don't give a damn that piss me off, personally. Hate that. That's the issue, Vernon. That's one of the major issues. We can talk about the skill system, but the hand-holding is the issue. The lack of discovery is the issue. There are so many problems. But again, people are very focused on that basic entertainment aspect. That basic entertainment aspect? Yes, it's important. You need to be entertained, but fuck. It needs to fit with what makes it special as well. Like, what's an example? That's like I mean, this is a very extreme example. But that's like being happy with the fact, like, let's compare the Dragon Quest series to spin-offs like Dragon Quest Swords. I could enjoy both Dragon Quest, the series, and Dragon Quest Swords, Swords being completely different. It's an extreme example because it's not even comparable in any way to original Dragon Quest, but Dragon Quest Swords is very entertaining. But it's a spin-off for good reason, because it's not Dragon Quest. But what if they suddenly decided that Dragon Quest Swords would be the way forward for the series? Extreme example because it is so terribly different, but no one should be happy with that. But what if all these people picked up Dragon Quest Swords and were like, this is entertaining, who cares that it's different? And they can very easily say who cares that it's different because they hadn't even played the older ones. And in the case of the people who wouldn't care, it would make me question whether or not they really valued what they played in the first place. I don't know, maybe I'm just more passionate about these things, whereas maybe I think about it more deeply because, I don't know. It's hard to find where the opinion begins and the objective evaluation ends, but I meant to say that the other way around, but anyway. Where does the objective evaluation end and the opinion begin? I don't know, but because I can only make decisions based on my own perspective, but fuck me. I'm going to end it with this. I'm not going to continue any further because I've just spent a long time talking about this, but and I suppose I'll end it here. I'll try to have the next video be a little bit more focused on the gameplay. I understand that I've been talking about everything other than Demon Souls during this recording. We're about 2 hours in, 2 hours and 7 minutes, but I'll end it here. I'll end on this point. I have 3 game series that I'm very passionate about. 2 of them are going in a direction that I'm not sure about, and I'm scared. I'm less scared now about World because I think Capcom are aware that it can't be this way. It can't stay like this. It has to return to Monster Hunter. I made a point about World 3 months after it first released. I'm not sitting here saying I'm ahead of my time, blah blah blah. I'm just saying that this was something that I identified very early on. I'd said that World is okay. I'm pretty much verbatim repeating my thoughts at that time. This is, going back to, say, May of 2018. World is okay. What it is, for me, is an indication that there is potential for this to go very sour for the series. World has set a precedent that if we completely depart from what made the series what it is, we will succeed. We've got a generation of people now who, or at the very least we are on the way to having a generation of people now who will value this rather than what was. So now, the real fear for me is, where will we go from here? It's not so much this game, it's where will we go from here. That was my feeling at the time. Now I really hate that game. Back then I was feeling a bit better about the game, but now I fucking hate it. So now I can't even speak well of the game itself, but definitely it's the potential for the future which scares me, and it's the same with Breath of the Wild. It's the potential for the future that scares me. My feeling was that it hadn't crossed that line into going too far. My feeling was that it was dangerously close and that the next iteration would likely go over the line. And I think it did with Clutch Claw. But my feeling now, and it was my feeling a few months after having come to that decision, it did cross the line. Went too far because I couldn't even enjoy it anymore. I really couldn't. I tried so hard, but I couldn't. Just as time went on, I just became more and more fatigued by it. Yeah, I think that's what we should expect, Vernon. I think there will be some games that follow the world style, and then other games that go back to 3rd gen and 4th gen. It's my belief that there should be both. I think it's okay for them to coexist. If they coexist, what happens is that you can have 2 separate communities. I don't want all the world players to come and flood my fucking space when the next game after World comes out and they all go, "This is amazing," and I'll be sitting there going, "Fuck off. You were eating that other shit for breakfast, lunch, and dinner. Fuck off." But, and then also their general ignorance about how the game works and all of that, if they bring back old mechanics. Yeah, that was the final point that I wanted to make. It was that I've always been very passionate about 3 particular series, and in the last 10 years, that passion has been heavily jeopardized by big changes, you know. I'm not afraid of change, I'm afraid of too much change. Monster Hunter has changed a lot, and I've stuck through with those changes, and I've enjoyed the results of those changes. Some things I didn't like, some things I did like, but ultimately I enjoyed the result. Couldn't say the same for World because it just went too far. Anyway, that's it for this recording, guys. I ended up talking about a lot of other stuff unrelated to Demon Souls. Hope you can forgive me. I hope that you can still listen to this and take something out of it. And if you completely disagree with everything I've said, then that's fair enough. But I hope you at least see where I'm coming from, even if you disagree. And even better, it'd be great if you did agree. But opinions are opinions, and people don't always agree with opinions that people have, which is fine. But anyway, I will probably record some more Demon Souls next week. I don't think I'm going to do any more this week, because the next recording of Demon Souls will definitely be me laying the groundwork for actually continuing with this build to completion, in the sense that I will have something mostly complete at the end of New Game. So I'll have a lot of different weapons, I'll have a lot of... well, my stats will be well fleshed out, and also I'll have the final armor set that I want to use for the build, which will likely be the dull gold set. And, yeah. Still need to do a little bit of planning before we begin that process, so the next video will be a bit more gameplay focused, I would say. Anyway, thank you all for watching, and I'll see you next time I'm playing Demon Souls, and perhaps I'll see you in something else that I'm recording as well. But in the meantime,